at what age, the question should be at what age should like the boy child, even the girl child, stop sleeping with the parent, especially if they're opposite gender.
No.
Let me pose a question to you guys.
Because for example, for me, I'll say about myself. I can't even remember the last time I slept with my mom. Have I slept with my mom? Yes. Many times. The last time I remember, I can't. Because maybe it was 2-3 years. Bado akininyonyesha nini hizo stuff. But ukiniambia like the last time I can remember sleeping with her, the same bed, like mother and son, I can't. For a 15-year-old still sleeping with the mom, it's a red flag.
Not only a red flag.
What is your question?
Let me ask you a very, very simple question. Okay? When we are growing up, right? As a boy child or as a girl child, there are things for you to retaliate or for you to be in line with them. You have to see the exact figure who is giving you an example of that situation. In this context, angalia the boy child hapa hivi, si ndio? Kungekuwa na that man ako hapo hivi anajua mzae ana kanga hivi na wife, now the mother, right? There is no point mtoto angefikia to certain age still analala in the same bedroom na the mother. There are things that are hard for a woman to tell a boy child, hata kama ni mtoto wake. That's a fact. And there are things zenye as a dad you cannot tell your girl child. You only have to refer them to their mother.
I think I disagree with that point. I disagree in the sense that you're saying that there are things it's hard for a woman to tell a child to stop, the boy child to stop. For example, for me seeing this story whereby the woman says that she found the child on top of her doing that thing. For me, I want to believe it's not the
that
first
thing,
time.
What is that thing?
Hiyo yenye mnajua.
Sema vile nini ilikuwa
kishiriki hiyo chenye wanashiriki. Wacha nimjibu hiyo swali yake. Hiyo anasema it's hard for a woman to tell. What's hard that to say no? So today I want us to talk about a woman confesses she woke up to alleged assault by her teenage son after a night drinking. Hii story imekuwa kinikula, sitaki kusema head, imekuwa kinikula kichwa sana.
Ungesema head ungechange direction ya hii conversation.
Na imekuwa kinikula kichwa sana.
Hizi tustua alafu waza tumia terminology zinakaa hivyo.
So
on goal.
Yeye nimejipiga kionana. So
director ameapprove hiyo
conversation. So kinikula kichwa.
ISO 100.
So hii story imekuwa kinikula kichwa sana. That mama I think ako between 30 ama 35. I don't remember the exact.
Middle 30s.
Ako mid 30s.
I think director pia ataweka ako ka clip hapo hivyo.
So alikuwa ameenda area za burudani. Akapiga glass 2-3 akarudi akiwa tipsy. So unajua ile kujisikia akajisikia kama the sun ako on top.
Nimesomea confession damu ikasimama. We listen and we judge. We don't judge. Here, I am a 39-year single mother to a 15-year boy. My boy and I share the same bed and we bathe in front of each other.
What?
I do drink sometimes on weekends. Yesterday I made a mistake. I drank heavily and came back around 9 and slept. I woke up around 12 at night because I felt like the bed was moving. And to my surprise, my child was on top of me doing it and he relieved himself on me. I quickly slept soon after. I think he did it again because I woke up wet again in the morning. But it's clearly that he took advantage of me and I don't know what to do. I am scared that he might have impregnated me and I might have infected him with HIV. I don't know how to start this conversation with him. Bye.
na vitu zikihappen venye zi happen so it can bring up a lot of conversation that anasema that even at times she takes shower like with the sun, so like ako free like ile like from growing up venye amezoea kuosha mtoi wake, yeye alikuwa pia free kuoga mtoi wake akimuona, una understand? So it has sparked a lot of debate especially the woman confessing that she's HIV positive.
So kuna episode 38 I think ilikuwa ni Joey na Kosi akisema mambo ya single mother. So wacha kwanza tuanze na nilikuwa niseme expert but sitasema expert. Joey, wewe na Kosi ndio mlikuwa mnatako li issue na inaonekana ni kana kwamba
but unajua hiyo kitu ni very traumatizing by the way. Not only to the ears of the people around but hata kwa life ya hiyo madam na mtoi wake mzee.
It's okay, but it's you put yourself in that situation. That is putting yourself in that situation kwa sababu
no, I'm trying to think of it in a different direction because for such a thing if to that situation
someone has to allow it.
Hiyo ni on goal, alishakubali.
Okay.
But makosa ilianzia, you see, when I don't know whether the child has a father figure in this context because kuna certain levels huyo kijana say unasema around 15 years. Kuna age fulani ikifika for a boy child unafaa kujua there are limits to how you treat your mother or even the feminine gender.
No, I don't
But
think
it's
it
not,
has to
this
do.
one
I
is
don't-
not
I
even
don't think
about father
father
figure.
figure. Yeah, it has nothing.
This
to
one
do
is about respect.
Why? Okay, it's not
not about
as much as
respect.
it's
Wacha
respect,
nikwambie,
It's about upbringing, of which inaweza nipa inaleta to this topic whereby at what age the question should be at what age should like the boy child, even the girl child, stop sleeping with the parent, especially if they're opposite gender.
No.
Let me
Yeah,
post you. Let me pose a question to
No,
you guys.
because
Okay.
for example,
Skia.
for me, I'll say about myself. I can't even remember the last time I slept with my mom. Have I slept with my mom? Yes. Many times. The last time I remember, I can't. Because maybe it was 2-3 years. Bado akininyonyesha nini hizo stuff. But ukiniambia like the last time I can remember sleeping with her, the same bed, like mother and son, I can't. For a 15-year-old still sleeping with the mom, it's a red flag.
Not
But
only a red
it's
flag.
not-
What is your question?
Let me ask you a very, very simple question. Okay? When we are growing up, right? As a boy child ama as a girl child, there are things for you to retaliate ama for you to be in line with them, you have to see the exact figure who is giving you an example of that situation. In this context, angalia the boy child hapa hivi, sindio? Kungekuwa na that man ako hapo hivi anajua mzae ana kanga hivi na wife, now the mother, right? There is no point huyu mtoto angefikia to certain age still analala in the same bedroom na the mother. There are things that are hard for a woman to tell a boy child, hata kama ni mtoto wake. That's a fact. And there are things zenye as a dad you cannot tell your girl child. You only have to refer them to their mother.
I think I disagree with that point. I disagree in the sense that you're saying that there are things it's hard for a woman to tell a child to stop, the boy child to stop. For example, for me seeing this story whereby the woman says that she found the child on top of her doing that thing. For me, I want to believe it's not the
That
first
thing,
time.
what is that thing?
Hiyo yenye mnajua.
walikuwa na-
Sema vile nini ilikuwa
wakishiriki hiyo chenye wanashiriki.
Walikuwa
Sikia,
wanashiriki
wacha
sherehe.
nimjibu hiyo swali
Wanashiriki
yake.
sherehe.
Hiyo anasema it's hard for a woman to tell. What's hard that to say no?
No, no, no,
If you're the woman,
it's not even, no, it's not even in that
Unajua,
context. It's not even in that context.
I'm your mama.
Yeah.
cheki
Iko hivi, iko hivi.
mnakimbiza
It's not
gari
yes.
mnakimbiza gari na hata mjaanza kufanya nini kuangalia ka ignition inafanya. Wacheni kukimbiza gari sana. It's a very simple case of respect. And respect to what? Many women, and especially most women, think that they can scare like their kids into being straightforward human beings. So,
And now we are talking.
which is impossible because biology does not necessarily know who is your parent or who is not. So, and in this case is katikati ya wase wawili, who knows the way society works kabisa? Nani amefikisha miaka ya kudiscern what society is? Jo, if I follow correctly, ukiangalia age gap, madam alipata huu mtoi akiwa na 24 years, so si mtoto akizaa. She's someone who has experienced life. So she knows right from wrong. Sindio? When you make a conscious decision to undress in front of a man, whether they came from you or not, you already know the outcome of that, what might happen kutoka hapo. Sindio?
And even taking shower.
Can I ask you a
It
question?
doesn't really
No,
matter.
let me ask you a question.
Sindio?
Finish.
Kwa sababu yeye anajua usi mwanamke. Hiyo ni clear, we are clear up to there.
Yeah.
Sindio? Yeye ndio apate hiyo mimba, amekanisha na wanaume na anajua how men react to certain situations. Sindio? Mpaka hapo. So if you can't set standards for your child, it means you're a poor decision maker. Because nyinyi mmekimbililia, okay, tushafika hapa, but someone had groomed this person to become what they are today. Sindio? This woman knew this is wrong. Sawa? I don't want to say ilikuwa ni out of negligence. Inaweza kuwa they are not financially stable, ati anataka kurent one bedroom ama nini. Sindio? But at a certain age, you know, wewe uenagi kulala kama umevaa jeans, ama kama vile nimevaa jeans, socks na kofia na nini. You have to be lightly dressed to sleep. Which means at some point kuna vile utalala tu na some part of your body will be exposed. Sindio? So, and you already know to this child, hata kama it will not get to that extent, ita confuse mtoi. Sindio? So your first instinct as a parent is to protect this child from that. Sawa? Angekuwa na option ya kubai mattress extra, huo kijana lale chini. Sindio? Angelala kwa couch. There are so many ways of preventing what happened. Inaweza kuwa hata pengine hiyo story ya kuoga pamoja ilikuwa ni akiwa mtoyo anaoga pamoja. But if you continue that trend until they are of age to understand this is a woman and this is how a woman looks like, then that is on them. Hiyo msianze kusema ati ni mambo sijui kulikuwa na father figure ama hakukuwa na father figure. That is lack of judgment.
No. Hiyo story ya father figure tutoe. Let me give my hata kuenda kuoga pamoja ifai. Unafuna mwosha kando.
Let me give you my point, and I want us to be logical with this. You know, I remember there is an episode I told you, emotion is data. And we use logic as a tool, right? You see, women are emotional beings. As compared
even men are
hapo mali anataka kuenda, hata mimi niko karibu kukata.
Mnaruka mbele ya
maliza.
Even men they are emotional.
Tushaona kwenye unaenda.
You have already interrupted my statement without confirming what I'm saying.
Okay.
Nimefika kwa emotions, sijaendelea mkaja.
Endelea basi.
Because you're trying to validate
I withdraw.
Let me tell you something, and let's be logical.
Mr. Sir Speaker, we withdraw from that.
No, serious. Let's be logical in things. As much as mnasema for the figure afai kuwa, nasema hivi, okay?
Hatujasema afai kuwa.
No, listen.
Tumesema regardless whether is there or not. No, we have to set the record straight.
No, I didn't say you didn't say there is a father figure.
Okay.
What I'm saying is, as much as mtoto aligrow, okay? Na this thing happened. I want you to be logic about this thing. if hu mtoi aligrow with a father figure or not, kuna vitu naturally mtoto as a boy child anafaa kuwa coached up nazo, okay? Kuna vitu anafaa kugrow up akilook up to, and that's a fact and you cannot deny that. Hu mtoto ni saa anasema it happened at what age? 15, right? Unataka kuniambia between this age akiwa mdogo to 15 there is no way the woman angeambia hu mtoto do this and this as a reference act kama a father figure. Juu kuna vitu ziezi happen assuming the father was there. Do you want to tell me such a thing can happen if
Sasa,
the father is there?
no,
Or the father figure is there?
let me ask you, let me answer you about the father. You don't need a father to be there to tell the woman that you're not supposed to shower with your son.
But can we
It's
agree?
wrong. Number one, that one is wrong.
I'm not disagreeing on that.
So this thing of putting like kuna father figure and then stories, emotions iko both sides. Men are emotion and ukianda kuiweka hivyo, people might start thinking hiyo story yenye wanasemaga be a man. So for example, when you're going
I'm
through,
not disputing about men having emotions and women having emotions. What I'm saying,
Can you
and
be clear about what
Because you
I've
need to
already
be
given
clear about
a
that one.
clarity, but you're going the other side.
okay,
What I'm saying is,
let me go back to
what
the
I'm
question.
saying-
Let me
okay,
go back
ask the
to
question.
what you are saying.
Ask the question.
You don't need a man to be there, for example. For me, I'm telling you things that I know for sure. I've seen women raising men with no fathers at all. Like there's boys like wajai ona mzee wao and there's no father figure. Like
And I'm not disputing that.
but kuna vitu kama basics like baths, sleeping together with the son. These are just like vitu like from grounded. Like the moment mtu huyo ashamaliza kunyonya atafutie hata hiyo time ya kunyonya, like you know when you are a couple bado ka mnanyonya, if you're in a good position whereby you have a 2-bedroom or whatever, you make the other bedroom for the kid, or maybe in the same room but you buy kale kitanda kadogo mtoto analalishwa
Buda,
hapo.
mumeenda sana buda, hata kahaba mwenye ana kazi yake ni kujiuza bana, anajua there are lines you don't close. And that is from a point of, do you know how like mentally sick you have to be? Because ebu piga picha a 15-year-old ana undress mamake, anaanza kutake advantage of her. What confidence amepata confidence ya kufanya kitu kama hiyo kutoka wapi? Tuanze hapo.
And then another question to that one, think about it. If now this guy, when he comes to marry, if this is the mother doing like this, what are we creating in the society? What are we doing to the society? Anaweza fanya msichana wa mtoto mwingine aje?
Si hata msichana like, okay, mi nauliza hivi ndio afike like think the mental process of this kid. Mamake amekam ako intoxicated, amelala, the thought process of undressing the mother to a point of molesting the mother, sindio? So where does this person get the courage to do that? Because I need you to understand the mental process that would go to someone doing such a thing, unless it is something that has happened before with the consent of the mother. So they will think, oh, hata saizi hata mind.
I have an answer to that one.
But I think
Now I have an answer to that one. You know, for even for the boy to know like yeah, you can do these things. I think really like when you to normalize vitu zingine, and this was not in our culture in terms of now this is whereby when men are being raised by women, there are things, for example, when you are raised with your dad, like for me, I'm saying 100% for sure, my father has never kissed me. His stories are forehead kiss, you know I love you my son, these things we don't do.
and that's the point I'm trying to say.
Let me finish. As African men, these ones we don't do. But now, since for example, since we are trying to copy the Western culture a lot, and I see it a lot with women, maybe I'll ekelea kuona masopopera nini
Kozi alisema ati ukiona mamako anavaa maua unaanza kuvaa shati za maua.
Tunaonanga,
but
so hata nimalize, tunaonanga unaonanga like venye watu wa Mayolo wanareziwa sijui wakitokea job wanapigwa makisa hapo, and and it started like with hizo cheek kiss, forehead kiss now, and it's not news. You see kwa barabara, airport, unaweza ona like two, a grown woman and a grown son, 10 years old son, wanakisiana mouth to mouth. This is how you train these kids to be. And then from the boy child, hapo ndo wanaanzanga kwa curious. You cannot tell me it was an initiation from the boy being 15 year old when the mother was drunk. Hii ni kitu chao happened before. Na it happened with the mother. And unapatanga, I think umesikiza stories whereby mnaandika mboch. And then the mboch, of course, ana msee anakaa kwako. And then it happened in a scenario whereby yeye ndo ana bet your sons. Anawaguza in the wrong places.
Yeah.
Hey, and you know what it can lead to.
Yeah.
Na yeye akunanga mtu anamguza.
But
And this is how you
Unafanya
make
sauti
this
ya Malcolm ingia kwa kichwa.
moja mwecheche.
Nyingine mwecheche.
And this is whereby udutu ideas to anda kukam. And you can see with the story here whereby the woman says she even takes baths with the son.
yeah, that's what she says. But unaona the funny thing ni at hii story yote imecome up because of something has happened. Two things. She is either pregnant and she doubts amepea mtoto wake nini HIV. That's what it says, right? So if that didn't come across, it's something maybe would have gone on.
Yeah.
Juu ange assume ni vile maybe nilikuwa mlevi. The same cycle will repeat again.
So
The hardest thing right now is to explain to the child that sasa unajua you need to test for HIV, unaweza kuwa na HIV, which again is another story because it means this woman, if mtoto ana HIV na mtoto ana HIV, it means she got it from somewhere else.
no, but
That
if
already tells you
if you
what
watch
kind
the
of a
clip
person
properly,
she is.
she asks, so how do I approach this conversation? Because that clearly tells you this child is only sexually active with the mother. Because angekuwa kona wanawake wengine huko nje, she would have had, unajua vile wana gaslighting watu, she would have had a way to gaslight the son, but now that is not the case. So she wouldn't gaslight the son ati wewe ndo unalala na wanawake ndo maana umegonjeka. Si ndio? But now this shows the rot in the society because as much as inaka like tunataka kubash ladies, we have also seen men who have, like the other day niliona kwa news a guy who raped sijui ni 13-year-old daughters, 3 of them. Niliona ni wapi? I think you also saw the story.
Yeah,
Ilikuwa hapa juzi.
actually the
He
guy
was arrested, si ndio?
he was sentenced to life in prison. No, yeah, life in prison.
Sawa. So that is a father. We also saw some years back a father who assaulted a 2 months baby.
9 months.
Sijui 9 months baby. Unaona? So this is not like it's something that has started with this woman, but this is something that has been in the society, but hakuna mtu anaongelelea na hakuna mtu anaface hii issue. So now it's coming out into bloater. Unaona? Ukiangalia story ya Sodom na Gomorrah, you know, when I saw this story I was so traumatized, so I started talking to some people, and throughout that we started talking to tukafika kwa story ya Sodom and Gomorrah, because I was telling this person I think we are beyond the state where Sodom and Gomorrah was. Akaniambia we are not even a quarter of where they were. Akaniambia the scene during that period as it is described, it was so filthy that God would smell it in heaven kutoka hapa chini. Aniambia hiyo time ilikuwa wana set beds nje.
Usherati mweche.
Unaona? Gayism was like, hiyo ilikuwa ni bread and butter ya hiyo community. But apart from that, everyone in the family would sleep with everyone. Grandfathers would sleep with granddaughters, sons with daughters, fathers with daughters, and sons with fathers, and fathers with their fathers. Unaona? But now this shows you, it's because at your time, when this started happening, no one questioned, no one talked about the issue. Kila mtu alikuwa like, hiyo ni society, na ati so called being woke. Kwa sababu, if you ask me how that starts, I don't... Do you know,
Mm.
like when you are growing up, there are people who never saw their father taking a shower.
Yeah.
Sindio? Ujaiona babako amevaa towel.
Yeah.
To some extent, there are people who never even saw their mothers ati indecently dressed, ati amevaa night dress ama amevaa nini. Like ungeamka mamako ni msafi ameshavaa, babako ni msafi ameshavaa. Jioni unaambiwa sijui fanya nini, ukienda sitting room mzee wako amedress fiti amekaa hapo, mamako amekaa hapo. Unaona? And like we didn't have those thoughts like na kwani mzee aogangi, sijaona akioga. But do you know why? This is the parents' responsibility to protect you. Hata juu mnacheka. Sindio? So imagine
Ameanza kusetia basics mapema.
Sindio? Imagine mzee wako ni mse anafanya hata tuseme kwa kiganda ya machuma nini, ameinua huko buda amejama muscles na ma six pack. Alafu dota yake mwenye ako 15 years ako tu hapo nje anaona babake amepita hivi anaona tu ma six pack zimejichora tu. Anaanza kuangalia budake in a way likely to suggest anaweza nyang'anya mamake bwana. No. But men would know that this, because at a certain age, between 10 to I think 17 ama 18, most genders, we are unable to control our emotion because the hormonal imbalance is so strong that our mental strength is not powerful enough to say not what, like the emotion, the hormonal whatever zinasema, sindio? So someone has to play that part for you, has to be the buffer between you and your hormones. That is why ulikuwa unapata at a certain age, hadi ukiwa chali unapata mzai wako anakaa akikuuliza, anakupigia simu hata kama uko mbali, anauliza hadi brother yako mdogo, Lucheli ako wapi? Endeni mumtafute mwambie namuita. Because he knows that this time akili yako tu inapiga tu unaweza pata demo wapi. Unaona? He is protecting you from yourself without you knowing. Anakuambia mimi nataka ukae tu mahali na kuona. Because if he gives you time, you are going to cause chaos. Na hii chaos itakuja kukuaffect. Because necessarily, nothing big might happen. But sasa ukipeana mtoto wenyewe mimba, unasikia hiyo familia imesema na lazima atawawi wasome, lakini undu lazima atawaoleka kwe. Now, and your father knows without giving you the process ya kugrow and become your own person, then your life might not end up as a good life. So, unaona? So as much as yeye alikuwa anasema mambo ya father figure, but this was played by both men and women. So tuseme wewe mamako amewazaa nyinyi wote mko sawa, alafu babako amegonjeka amekufa. Does life stop because the father is dead? Does the manners and the buffering stop because your father is dead? Someone has to play that part. Sindio? And this becomes...
Let me interrupt you a minute. Because I've thought of when you say sometimes the father figure may not be there. But even from where we have grown up, you see, if the father figure or the mother figure is not there, naturally as a society, we give a figure, unasikia godfather, godmother, right? They are there for that reason. Ndio niliwaambia even in the first place, as much as we are not leaning on either side of the gender, there is always some things that at a certain age of either of a gender, lazima kuwe na mtu wa that same gender anafaa kuexplainia the young ones of the same gender that this is what happens. Kuna kitu mama yako hawezi kuambia. Example, during the times of initiation, was your mother there to tell you, na unajua sasa you need to be initiated to be this and this? They don't. The same thing, even if the mother is there and she knows what needs to be said, she can't.
But nani anafaa kutafuta hiyo person? Because at now,
ndio nasema it's not an issue of ni mother ama father. It's an issue of, wacha tuseme, ni responsibility ama we need to have a set of boundaries to some extent ya kitu fulani.
Okay, me I agree.
For me,
you as a father, you have a daughter, uwezi mwambia.
But unajua kenye unafaa
kumwambia. Yeah, but whose responsibility is it to find a godmother for this daughter to be talked to?
I think you guys overthinking this thing of godfather, godmother.
No,
I'm just answering this guy from basic knowledge that the woman needs to understand, like the woman in this situation, and sometimes it can be the man, because maybe there are also some other men doing this. Like the men should not take showers with their daughter. The woman is simple as that. The woman was doing wrong by taking
from the word go.
Yeah, from the word go. That's
that we
it
understand.
Doesn't need a godfather or a godmother. It's just like in basic common
but now
knowledge inafaa
we are
like inakuwa
assuming
applied.
and I'm also assuming that is what he means. We are assuming that she has taken all the precautions, but at a certain age, wakati sasa the only thing your hormone is telling you need a woman around you, your mother can't come directly and tell you, no, right now you can't start sleeping with women left, right and center. You'd feel some type of way.
I feel
And I agree.
I feel
I
the
Now,
woman, I feel
agree.
The woman, it is her responsibility to
look
go
for-
and look for her cousin, her uncle, or if she is not having that part of the family, to go and look for a man she trusts to come and work as a buffer in this situation.
And this is where I agree by saying at a certain age, both genders. So if it's a daughter, and let's say they're going through their cycles, right?
Yeah.
If, and I'm speaking from experience, I know of people who they gave birth and they lost the woman, and now the men had to take care of the daughters. At some stage, like this story to explain, you know, the daughter will come home and kuuliza, na baba, leo nilienda nini, naona kadamu mahali. So this is whereby if you have a sister or your mother is still alive or you have other ladies around,
But is it a must?
you can use. Yeah, it's a must.
Ngoja na niko na swali, is it a must ambiwe na mwanamke?
It's a
Askia,
must.
do you know why?
Do
you know why? Do you know why it's a must?
No, it's
Do
a
you know why
must.
it's a must?
No, I understand, but anaweza mwambia basic, you are at a certain age, but I
We are
look for
not-
someone
we
to
are not-
explain
we
to
are
you,
not- we are
father,
not-
this is what I know.
No, we are not
you don't-
disputing that.
You don't
We are
need to
actually not-
explain.
we
You
are not
don't need to
disputing
explain
that.
yourself. You are at a certain age. You just call the other person and come. So umeona anakuja naanza kuexplainia doto yako na by the way,
But Lucheli, acha
najua unafika hii stage ukienda kuona kitu fulani, jua una mature, like as you grow old, this is what will be happening.
That
The
being
same
said,
way to the boy child when it comes to circumcision. Of course, let's say the boy being raised by a woman, right? Itafika age, if they have brothers or uncles or whatever,
they come in.
they come in at this.
We are not saying it's bad to tell her, but there needs to somebody to coach her.
I understand all that.
This is what happens.
Na sija
Amuonyesha.
dispute.
You see, you can't show her how to
Yeah,
do the whole
I'm not
thing.
disputing, sindio? But we also forget one aspect. Huyu mtu amekama amemwambia leo, sindio? And also you'll have questions we'll ask here and there. But apart from that, who has this person in their day-to-day lives? Juu hatuwezi kwa tunasema okay, your obligation is up to here and then kutoka hapo si wewe. We can't say that.
No,
Anaweza kuambia sijui, sindio? I might not know when the cycles start what happens in between. Hata kama bibi yangu ako hapo, pengine hajanieleza na hajanifunza, sindio? But after nimetafuta mtu amemwambia, what happens next when she gets a scare na ajui kama it's how the cycles are supposed to go, or she's sick or she has an infection. So huo unataka huo mtu aka hivi asiambie babake angoje mpaka ule mtu alimuexplainia ama anze kutafuta huyo mtu.
No. We are not. That's not what we mean.
But this is what comes in. Sijakataa amemwambia, but it's also your responsibility as a parent to also learn. Kuna vitu ya siwezi mwambia, but it's also your responsibility to be aware that at some point hauna otherwise, you'll have to take the bull by the horn. Hata kama si kazi yako.
Even if
No,
you take
but
the bull
there's
by
some
the horn.
conversation. There's some conversation you need to learn as a parent. You need to learn about your child, but you are not supposed to have with your child.
I'm not
Okay,
saying you do.
psychologically, you naturally know. Let me put something across here. Psychologically, there are things that you can't tell your parent as a child. That's a fact, right?
Yeah.
Why? Because you need another part of a person that you can express yourself to. The same thing, it also reiterates to you. As a man, there are things you can't tell your child. You have to look for somebody to explain it to them.
Yeah.
Right? Not that you can't tell them, but you know the repercussion inaweza kuwa behind it. Huyu mtoto anaweza pata scare, sema na mzae kumbe anaonanga hivi ama maadhi anaonanga hivi, because they are children, they have known you since ukiwa mdogo to that, so it's the same thing. We are not disputing about whoever needs to action, but again, boundaries, respect has to be there for some things to prevail.
So who dropped the ball in this case?
The mother.
The mother
The mother.
So
is to blame.
So it's simple and clear. It's not about this gender or that gender. But okay, that tumeona hivyo. But do you also think like we are adapting a culture that is not meant for us, to a point that it is now affecting and influencing our culture and our way of life in a negative way.
I agree 100%. Case and point is the one nimetumia hiyo example here. I'm not saying kissing is bad, but I'm just using it as an example because the most common practice thing. Utaanza kuona, me I've seen watoto wadogo like here in Kenya wanakisiana, and then uko zile za like different genders, uko zile za like there has to be curiosity from either of the child.
Of course there is something driving that.
There's something driving it, and it comes from the basic. How did they know like how to do this thing? There's a parent somewhere alikuwa amezoesha. Sasa like unaona the feeling like the parent ana having in the daughter, so the daughter is trying to transfer the same feeling to the friend of which is of opposite gender. I want you to experience what I have with my mom. So like this, like daughter, you understand?
But
so let's stick to our basics. Na vitu kaa hizo just for
Unajua
example,
kuna kitu umesema and imenikumbusha, unaona like sisi tukigrow, the millennials, we never saw our parents show PDA. Sindio? But kuna hii system ya uzazi imekuja that the parents will kiss in front of the kids, they will hug, they will be too touchy feelings with their partner, not necessarily with the kids, but with their partner in front of the kids. Does this also trigger the same kind of response that we are seeing today?
Yeah, it does.
So it's not necessarily about the relationship between the parents and the kids. It's also the responsibility of the parents to be more responsible of how they show their affections to each other around the kids.
yeah.
Transparency.
Kusema transparency ndio imetufikisha hapa.
Transparency ndio imetufikisha.
But transparency ni muhimu. Honestly, mtoto akikuuliza kitu fulani, just know how to don't lie. Because the moment you lie,
because now
so if unajua saa mtoto anafika class 6 anaanza kusoma stories za reproduction,
usimwambie mtoto ananunuliwa supermarket.
Si tuliambiwa mimi ati nilitoka juu nikapokotwa soko.
So ukimwambia hivyo alafu
And I came to class 6 and
Johnny aanze kumuonyesha vitu zingine, si itakuwa ni ngori. Ama we producer unasemaje?
Siri ni siri.
mimi nililetwa na ndege.